In today's video, we're covering CPA exam requirements. And yes, there are a lot of requirements. So you need to be aware of what each state is offering, which state to pick that is going to be best for you. And we're also going to be covering the number one myth about the CPA exam. So you do not want to miss this video. Welcome, future CPA. My name is Brian Kessler, and I am a licensed CPA in the state of Missouri. I'm also the creator of CPA Exam Guide.com and the creator of Ultimate CPA Exam Guide Premium Training System. Now, I've got a question for you today. Are you confused about how to sign up for the CPA exam? It's not an easy process. It's very confusing. There's different states you can sit in. There's so many different requirements. So I'm here to break through all the confusion and lay it out in a simple step-by-step system for you to make sure that you get on your way and to start studying and passing the CPA exam. So let's start with step number one. Education requirements. So there are 4 primary education requirements that you need to be aware of before you begin the CPA exam application process. So requirement number 1 is that all states require a minimum of a bachelor's degree in accounting or an equivalent degree. Now, the majority of states even take that a step farther and require a master's in accountancy or MBA or some equivalent upper level degree. So that's very important to be aware of when you're deciding what state to sit for the CPA exam. Now, education requirement number 2, it builds on that even farther. Some states only require 120 hours to sit for the CPA exam, while others require 150 credit hours to sit for the CPA exam. Now, a rookie mistake that I see a lot of candidates making is misunderstanding the different requirements for sitting for the CPA exam versus being a licensed CPA in a state. So the big difference in all that you're concerned about right now is how many credit hours do I need to sit for the CPA exam? Because once you've hit that, then you can sit for the exam and worry about hitting the education requirements to become licensed in your state later. So that's the big rookie mistake that I want you to avoid right now. Only focus on knowing how many hours are required to sit for the CPA exam. Education requirement number 3, like I said before, you have to have at least a bachelor's degree in accountancy. You can't get a master's degree in basket weaving and expect that those courses will qualify you to sit for the CPA exam. So again, there are very specific course requirements that vary by state. So please be aware what your state requires, but there's going to be accounting courses that you're required to take, business law, ethics, all kinds of different courses that are out there that vary by state. So know specifically what courses that you need to complete in order to be eligible to sit for the CPA exam in your state. And again, your college advisor or accounting advisor, they should be able to help you identify what courses you need to take, because the last thing I want for you to do is graduate and then find out you didn't take a course that you needed to sit for the CPA exam. So remember, find those specific courses that you need to take and you'll be good to go. And the final, number 4, education requirement is that you will be required to send a college transcript with your CPA exam application. So the reason that the state boards of accountancy do this is because they actually verify that you've taken the courses that you claim to have taken. And I wish they would just trust you to take your word for it, but they don't. And it's very important that you get a college transcript and include it with your CPA exam application. There's actually going to be a separate video on CPA exam application that should be linked right here. So you can find everything you need to know in that video about the CPA exam application, your college transcripts, etc. All right, and the final thing I want to leave you with is that if you are a first-time CPA exam application candidate, please allow 4 to 6 weeks for your state to process your application. It's very intensive on their end. There's a lot of checking. They have to make sure that every course that you've taken qualifies for the CPA exam. And if you've taken, courses out of state, it just takes time for them to process the application. So give yourself 4 to 6 weeks. Use that time wisely, maybe start studying and so forth. But just know that it's a time-intensive process to become approved to sit for the CPA exam. The next requirement I want to discuss is residency requirements. So did you know that you don't have to sit for the CPA exam in the state that you're currently residing? So this was a revelation that I discovered very quickly when I realized that I was living in Illinois, but I was going to be working in Missouri. So what I ended up doing was comparing the two states' requirements, and neither of them had a residency requirement to sit for the CPA exam. So that was check number one. And then I found that Illinois had more advantageous education requirements at the time. So that meant that I could start sitting for the CPA exam sooner than I could with Missouri. So I decided to take that option. And then once I actually passed the CPA exam, I just had to fill out a bunch of paperwork and get all my credits transferred to Missouri. And then I was just like that licensed in the state of Missouri. So please be aware that not every state requires you to be a resident in order to sit for the CPA exam. So some of them do, but some of them don't, and you can use that to your advantage. Moving on to my favorite CPA exam requirement, the age requirement. Did you know that some states don't have an age requirement to sit for the CPA exam? So if you are an overachieving teenager, that makes you excited, right? So there actually was a teenager, only 17. Her name was Belicia. This is her right here. She passed the CPA exam as a 17-year-old. So again, I'm sure the majority of you are not worried about the age requirement, but just know some states require you to be 21. Those lame states. Some require 19. The majority don't have an age requirement. Just know that education, residency requirement, those are the key requirements that you need to be aware of, but age requirement is a real thing. The final requirement I want to discuss is the U.S. citizenship requirement for CPA exam candidates. So that's right, international CPA candidates. There are certain states that will not allow you to sit for the CPA exam if you are not a U.S. citizen. But thankfully, there are a list of states that will allow you to sit. So I highly recommend that if you are an international candidate, that you head over to cpaguide.tv/startcpa, and you'll find a list of all the states that you can sit for the CPA exam in. The next video, which is going to be linked to right here, will actually be devoted completely to helping you sign up for the CPA exam, because I know there's a lot of you out there who are just trying to pass the CPA exam, and it's a headache and a half to sign up for the US CPA if you are an international candidate. All right, so that wraps up all the CPA exam requirements that you need to know about the CPA exam. Let's cover that one myth that I just can't stand about the CPA exam. And the number one myth about the CPA exam is that the CPA exam is not an IQ exam. So you could be the top of your class, President Beta Alpha Psi, super overachiever, and I've seen it happen over and over where they walk into the CPA exam and then they fail, and it crushes them, and then they fail again and again and again, and they just completely fall apart and give up. So how does this happen? Well, the CPA exam is not about how smart you are. It's about how mentally determined you are. So yes, it does require a lot of memorization, a lot of textbook knowledge, but if you can pass college, and fulfill those education requirements, you are capable of passing the CPA exam. It just really matters how bad you want it. So again, back to video number one, it's all about how passionate you are about accounting and how much you want to pass the CPA exam. And if you don't have that, then you're not going to put in the time. You're not going to be able to study and memorize what you need to know. So again, the CPA exam is not an IQ exam. If you go in and then fail, it's not because you're not smart enough. It's because you're not determined enough. You don't have the passion. You don't have a good enough reason to sit for this exam. So I really hope that helps you put things in perspective about why you need to be taking the CPA exam. And if you want to ensure that you're mentally prepared, know how to study, and just follow a blueprint that will teach you step by step how to pass the CPA exam, then I highly urge you to go to today's show notes and sign up for my CPA exam application checklist and my ultimate CPA exam guide free training series. So all you have to do again is go to cpaguide.tv/startcpa, or pull out your phone and text Start CPA to 33444 and reply with your best email address. And then I'll start sending you jam-packed emails with videos, eBooks, multiple choice questions, everything you need to know to pass the CPA exam. So does that sound pretty awesome? Thank you again for watching. I really hope you learned a lot, and stay tuned for next time international CPA candidates, because the next video is going to help you sign up for this CPA exam. Dang There's a lot of states. I wish I would have paid more attention in geography class.